Hello and welcome to our in summation for Until Dawn. I'm DK.
And I'm Periodic Gamer.
So we just finished our Let's Play of Until Dawn. It's a horror game where you take control of a group of teenagers, and the goal is to keep as many of them alive as possible.
Sort of.
Until dawn.
Sort of.
Surprisingly, yeah. I mean, you don't always want to keep all of them alive. It's a so the game's mechanics are built on quick time events where it's a lot of just pressing buttons as they appear on the screen. There are also some pretty cool mechanics with the motion controls in the controller where you can actually set up the game so that like when you aim your gun or when you want to turn your flashlight, you do that by pointing the controller. Or there are sections where you have to hold still so that you're not caught, so that you're not making any sound. And you do that by holding the controller very still, which may seem fine and easy, but it's a touchy enough system that it's very easy to mess up. But mechanically, it's a pretty simple game. However, it's very cinematic. It's got a good story. It interweaves a lot of classic horror tropes, things like slasher flicks and monster flicks and these sorts of things, and it weaves them together well, I think. And the story, is that a couple of your friends went missing on this mountain while you were visiting this lodge a year ago. And you've all got back together at this lodge a year later. And you think it's just for a casual weekend retreat, but then things start getting weird. And not just in the, teenagers, we have hormones and feelings and stuff weird, but like, mysteries start cropping up. Unsolved murders from the past or things like this, and so the goal is to figure it all out while keeping everyone alive. So I played the game. I really enjoyed it, but Periodic Gamer, what did you think of it?
So I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with our playthrough. It had been a long time since I had seen this game. I'd only ever previously seen one playthrough of it, so I didn't even see the ending that we got this time, which was pretty cool. I was glad that we got to keep everyone alive, even begrudgingly needing to keep Emily alive to get the ending we got. But
right.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think very obviously I was scared in a few places. It maybe like once. I don't know where you would look for that, but
No, yeah. It's tucked away. Most people won't even know.
no, it's barely there. Don't go looking for it. But I really enjoyed most of the story aspects of this game. It was very engaging, and for the most part, you actually cared about the people, the characters you're playing through as. There are a few like minor hiccups where things are kind of unbelievable in a couple of places, but like again, it's a horror game, so suspension of disbelief. So
Yeah. Now, one thing that they do in this game is all of the characters are played by, like, live action actors. It's not just a voice actor with some sort of, CG model overlay. In fact, all of the characters look very much like their live action counterpart. So you've got like Sam, who's played by Hayden Panettiere, and you've got Mike, who's played by Brett Dalton, and all of these sorts of things. And they were the character model as well as the voice, as well as, mocap stuff. And it works really well. It is not always the case, I've found, that a good actor is also a good voice actor.
yeah,
In fact, I've seen plenty of cartoons where they just pull in a regular actor, and you're like, oh, they're good in live action, but this is
isn't
awful.
right.
Yeah. But I thought that all of the cast did an amazing job at acting and voice acting.
And I also really loved, like, without spoiling too much or anything at all, really. I liked that there was kind of like a cabin in the woods feel to this, where at the beginning of the game you're pretty sure it's a setup, but you're never quite sure until you're suddenly very sure, but you're never sure for long, right? This game did a really good job of, like, there's going to be a twist, but then there was a different one. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. None of the like there were things I suspected as I played along. Like, oh, I think it's going in this direction. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes
Right.
it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, definitely most of the plot revolving around Josh I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Um, and it was very, very well done. I thought this was, when I was first watching it, I was like, oh, this is just going to be another stupid slasher with cheap jump scares. And it turned out to be a really engaging story with cheap jump scares. So
Yeah.
that's,
There are plenty of cheap jump scares.
oh my God, that one in the truck. Oh my God, every
Yeah.
goddamn time.
Well, and there's some legitimate horror too. Like there are moments where, aside from just jump scares, I was very creeped out or very nervous, and playing the game really gets my heart going. So I think that they did a good job at balancing, like, what's a jump scare, what are we doing with, like, setting up a scene that's actually, it looks creepy.
One of the things that I love the most about this game, and any sort of medium that encompasses this, because it builds the feeling so well, is showing you the people you're playing, and then you cut to some other camera angle, and you're looking through the eyes of someone or something else, but you don't know what it is or who it is.
Yeah.
And they don't overuse it. They only do it a couple times, and you're not sure what you're looking through until later in the game.
Yeah, it's like a voyeuristic view.
Exactly, and it's so it builds so well.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say that, as just a matter of, like, pros and cons, mechanically the game could be better in the way that it plays. Like, controlling the characters, especially where you have fixed camera angles that shift sometimes very drastically as you go around a corner, controlling the characters can be a bit clunky. The quick time mechanics are fine. I like the whole don't move thing and the motion controls and whatnot. But just character movement feels very unnatural.
Yeah, and we even made fun of it a couple times where, like, oh God, it's such an intense scene, we're running, and then you take back control and you can only go with this, like, brisk little walk. And that happens a couple of times. Like, it's sort of immersion breaking when you can tell it's, like, kind of clunky.
Yeah.
But great game overall.
It is, and it's very cinematic, as we've said. It's a very story-driven game. And, if that's something that you look for in a game, then I fully and highly recommend this game.
Yeah, same here. It's it gets pretty high ratings for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for joining us for this review, and we'll catch you next time.